I know why you are here. I am Arthur Carmazzi, and I'm going to tell you a story about how directive communication came about. And then you tell me if this applies to you. All right? First of all, at one point in my life, everything was going pretty well. Okay? I had this good job, I had, all these good things. The only thing is that, because everything was going kind of well, I started to kind of think I was a little bit too good. It's like, I am so awesome. So one day I thought, hey, I'm going to start my own business. I've got all these great ideas and I've been applying them, and I'm going to start my own business. So I started my own company. And, I borrowed a whole bunch of money. Okay, I borrowed about $500,000 in order to start this company. Now I knew I was going to succeed because everything else I had done was, hey, it was good. I was working. Everything else was working. So I knew I was going to succeed. So I start this business, and here's what happened. Okay, I am managing to the best of my ability, and for some reason, people, would not do what I wanted them to. They wouldn't really be engaged. They wouldn't, come to work on time. They wouldn't do the things that, they needed to do in order to really achieve a successful organization. I'm thinking, man, what is wrong with these people? And I knew that I was so awesome, so it couldn't have been my fault. And so I was trying to find all sorts of ways to literally help people to bring the best out of themselves so that they would literally, perform better and actually do all the stuff that they were supposed to. But sometimes they didn't tell you anything, they didn't talk to you, and they did mediocre work. So I'm thinking, man, what is wrong with these people? Anyway, about 1.5 years later, after being in business and being so awesome, I had a problem. I basically lost all my money, and I was $500,000 in debt. And all the people that were working for me, of course, I needed to blame them because it was all their fault because they didn't achieve what I thought that they should be achieving. So I needed to get a job. So I got this job. And it was a pretty cool job, very high paying job. And when I go into this company, I'm thinking, wow, I know I can do a whole bunch of stuff. I know I can do great things. So have you ever started a job? Have you ever been in that situation where you're like really excited? And that's what I was doing. So I went into this company and I'm like, wow, I can do great things. After a while, I started to notice that, basically people were blaming each other. And, like the finance department is blaming the marketing department and all these things are going on. And, it just kind of was a little bit depressing and difficult to deal with. But I thought, no problem. I can make a difference. I can make things happen. So I'd come up with these really cool ideas. And I'd bring them up to some of the other department heads. Have you ever, come up with some ideas and they're going to work and you really, can make stuff happen? And I brought it up to these other people and they said, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. And I'm thinking, man, what is wrong with these people? Why is it, I have value. I'm trying to give them something. Have you ever felt underappreciated? So I thought, okay, no problem. I'm going to make a difference. 4.5 months later, without even realizing it, I started blaming people. It's like these people up here did this and these people up here did this and all these things happened, and I got sucked in. People would come up to me and say, hey, Arthur, can you help me with this thing? I'd say, look, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. I got sucked in. I became part of the problem. And here's the worst part. I gave up. I gave up that company could really support what I wanted to. Kind of similar to what I did with my own business. These people, they're not really doing things. And I have seemed to just kind of given up on when I had my own business as well as when I was working for somebody. And it affected everything. It affected my relationships. It affected how I thought about myself. I would go home, I wasn't happy. I felt stuck. Have you ever felt stuck? Whether you own your own business or whether you're working for somebody or even whether you're in a relationship, have you ever felt stuck? And that's where I was. And so what ended up happening is that one day I just looked in the mirror and I thought, okay, there's something going on here. I got to find out what's going on. So I decided I was going to go and talk to these other people, these bad people that were making my life difficult. And you know what happened? I discovered something very, very interesting. I discovered that they were real human beings, that they also had real standards, that they really wanted to achieve things. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, if these people are like this, I'm thinking, well, maybe the people that were in my own business, maybe they also had the same things. Maybe it was a management problem, which was me. And maybe it's something bigger. Maybe it was something like the environment, like the culture of the organization, the culture that I had created, the culture that I, as a leader, that I was creating around me. And I discovered that in every job that I had ever been in, and even in every business that I had ever run, there was one common denominator that always seemed to be there, and that was me. And I thought, wow, okay, so how does this going to work? I mean, you know, I am a certain way in certain environments, and I'm a different way in other environments, and then these people, I'm not so good here. So I thought, well, you know, this is group dynamics. This is not about the individual, but this is how the individual is affected by their environment. So that's when I started to do research. And this is where eventually, about a year later, directive communication psychology was born. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you find that in your environments, whether you own your own business, whether you're working for somebody, or whether you're in a relationship, do you find that there are certain times where you really, you know, don't feel like you are achieving or being the person that you need to be, that you can be, that maybe there are certain situations where you are feeling undervalued, where you are getting people around you that feel that they are not valued, where they're basically unengaged? Have you ever been in that kind of a situation? Because that is what directive communication psychology is all about. Now, for the past 15 years, for the past 15 years, I have been coaching and teaching directive communication psychology to people around the world, mostly companies. And it has had a dramatic effect on the productivity, on the engagement, on how people felt when they went to work. So whether you are a business owner, whether you are an employee, whether you're in a relationship, if you understand directive communication psychology, you're literally understanding how people work in a group and how you would be able to influence those people to have more passion, more excitement, and create a group that literally supports you to be at your best, and at the same time promoting others to be at their best. So if this relates to you, if you can connect with this in any way, then the Directive Communication Psychology Practitioner Program is for you. Oh, wait, perhaps you've heard of some of the directive communication psychology models, like colored brain, the way that your brain genetically processes information, and how that affects your communication, how it affects your perception of others, and basically how it affects the ability to deal with other people that just kind of make you a little bit crazy. Okay? Perhaps you've heard of the emotional drive process, which basically allows you to help create teams that are perfect, literally, so that each person in the team is designed, is picked very specifically based on their emotional drive ranking in order to create teams that literally are super performing teams. Perhaps you've heard about postures, how you can literally use the mind-body connection to change the moods of people around you. Perhaps you've heard about the identity process, to literally find all of the different facets of who you are in different environments, whether it's with your kids, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your friends, all of these different places where you are literally finding the best of who you are, extracting it and creating your own ideal self, your own ideal identity model, and how you are instilling that in you so that you can live it and practice it every day. Or perhaps you've just heard of the benefits of directive communication psychology, being able to literally create environments where people are excited to come to, where they feel good about themselves, where they are creating super positive energy that is infectious, so that people don't want to go back to the way they used to be, and they want to keep moving forward to something greater, to something better. So, if you want to learn these, if you want to apply these, then please attend the Directive Communication Practitioner Certification. Oh, one more thing. If you sign up for this class right now, you'll also be able to go to the live program in Kuala Lumpur on the 25th to the 27th of September. This is Arthur Karmazzi wishing you great success.